Sorry for the technical delay. Actually, so Ayyankali organized young people of his caste and with head high, his Ayyankali and his comrades in a demonstration walked through the streets up to the market area, which was banned for the scheduled caste people. Of course, there was a lot of struggle. They were attacked by upper caste men, but they did not care. It gave them much confidence in that movement. Then what he did is that in his plan of action, to give education to his children of the lower caste people. It was only education itself, public education particularly, was coming only, but in Kerala it started very early, and the royal government also took some interest in giving public education to the people, but it was not open to, none of the public schools were open to scheduled castes. No, open. So Ayyankali organized and set up a school for his people in his area of Venganur, which was very much opposed by upper caste people, and there were a lot of struggles. It was set ablaze. The school what he built up was set ablaze by upper caste people, but ultimately, with the help of the organized young men along with him, he was able to maintain it, protect it, and even some people from other upper castes was magnanimous enough to teach in the school. Another thing also was there with regard to his activities in the field of education, that is, education of girls, women. So when in another time he brought a girl called Panchami, her name has become historical because it is ingrained in history. Along with Panchami, he came to the government school and asked for admission, which was denied, and following that, a very big fight and struggle was there, and ultimately he could get her admitted, but this struggle continued for several years. Then each and every issue which was confronted by the lower caste people, it was taken by Ayyankali, and he could do it because of his personality, which he developed a fighting spirit, and also because of his self-respect, which prompted him to organize his people, a sense of organization, and in that way a sense of democratic ways which he developed amongst them, and he became a natural leader of his community. By then there was the royal Praja Sabha was there, instituted by the king or the rulers. He was given recognition to his efforts in his community, and he was nominated as the member from his community. It was the rule by then. So he was very efficient in spite of his being illiterate in placing before the house the exact demands of his community members. The first thing what he did is that he wanted the young people of his community to get admitted in the schools. There was order, but the upper caste people were not allowing them. So he demanded that there should be strict implementation of the education of his younger people, and it was allowed. But still there were opposition from upper caste people, and so a very, very, very peculiar thing, of course, very unbelievable when we see it from this period of time, that he declared a strike in the agricultural field, because agricultural work was all done by lower caste people. In Trivandrum particularly, this land, and particularly the land of the palace and upper caste people, they were cultivated by, the real work was done by lower caste people. He declared a strike, demanding mainly they should get education. The government should implement education for their children. But the upper caste people thought they will have to withdraw after some time. When they will become hungry, out of hunger they will stop the movement. Surprisingly enough, that movement lasted for about a year and a half almost. When the people themselves became wary, by which time he made friendship with the community of fishermen, and together they brought the strike to a victorious end. The government had to institute a commission by a sitting magistrate, and Ayyankali, on behalf of the lower caste people, had talks with him, and almost all the demands were agreed upon by the government. And this strike has got a significance in that, whether it is a factory strike, what type of worker is involved in it, these are not very important things, but it was a workers' strike. These people lived on the wages being given by the owners of the land. Then other things were also considered by the government. Weekly one holiday was allotted, and also some increase in their wage was also effected. So this movement was a very successful movement, which also gave much enthusiasm and confidence to the lower caste people. Then another thing also is mentionable, so I will tell that also. Actually, Ayyankali's life is an action-packed life. He was not an intellectual that way speaking, but his intellect worked with cuteness and commitment to the cause of his people. His women folk along with him in his caste, they had many difficulties, or they were suppressed by many various caste suppressions were there. One is that they had to wear a chain made of stones. It is called Kallumala, stone chain, because it is mainly to demonstrate their caste, so that wearing this, people should identify them to be lower caste people. He began a movement among his ladies, the ladies in his women in his caste, and in Perinad, in Kollam district, a big meeting was organized, but that meeting was attacked by upper caste people, and the fight continued for several years, several months. Ultimately, Ayyankali organized an all community meeting in a place called Perinad in Kollam, and that meeting became a historic meeting. About 500 people, including about 5,000 people, including some 2,500, half of it was women. They gathered together, and in that, leaders of other castes were also present. And in that meeting, Ayyankali called upon the women there to break their chains and place this stone chain in front of the dais. And one by one, each lady or woman came forward and breaking their chain, put the stone chain in front of the dais. And it became a very big heap. And it is particularly recorded in history. So through all these struggles, Ayyankali gave individuality to his members of his caste. They were able to stand up. It took several other decades for them to gain many rights of theirs, but still he was an exemplary leader. And in that time, to develop a leader from a section of people like a lower caste society, lower caste community, it was also very exceptional. And another thing also is to be told, he fought against liquor. It was a menace in his community, but he was dead against liquor, and he made it a movement within his members of the community. So, after a full life, he died at an age of 82 or something. But his life was a very meaningful life. And the section of lower caste people, they became later, there was much advancement in the lot of their life. But still, how much sense of caste feelings are acting in our society, present day civilized society also we are seeing. So this Ayyankali, the story of Ayyankali or history of Ayyankali gives us much enthusiasm and vigor to fight against such evils. Not only that, nowadays there are a set of lower caste people themselves who has made Ayyankali a god. Very peculiarly in Kerala it can be seen that Ayyankali's idol that is built and temples are functioning, which means that the very same people for whom he fought, even now they have not got the exact importance or message left by Ayyankali. Message is that you have to fight, not to make him God or anything. So, dear friends, why we remember such people is that the fight which our people did during that time, that should be a path for the present fight what we have to take. We shall not stop there. We have to go forward, because the exploitation, the nature of exploitation, the nature of suppression that is going on now, it is very much different from that was existing then. This caste has become a tool in the hands of present day rulers again to exploit them doubly. Their labor, their low status. So still now there are caste prejudices which is really making very many difficulties in the joint struggle. And one more thing I will tell and finish with my talk, that is the modern ideas of democracy, fraternity, equality, liberty, and after that Kerala also see a spurt of communist ideals growing throughout the state. Even though it did not take a very successful end, Kerala became a left-minded state. But still we have to fight and fight. Unity of the people we have to bring. In the new exploitative system, that is capitalism, these caste feelings are making a very bad influence in the unity of the people. Not only caste feelings, communal feelings also are becoming hazards in front of the fights, joint movements of the people. And for the present democratic movements, we have to rise above the caste system. And the cultural movement that we have to do now is this, rising above religion, rising above caste, unite and fight the exploitative system and fight the exploiters. So I conclude here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. V Venugopal, for presenting such an inspiring story. As far as I understand from the lecture, we need to we need to propagate the history of the Kerala Renaissance movement, particularly the life struggles of Ayyankali, Srinarayana Guru, and so on. So such stories are very much inevitable to take part this struggle and to lead forward us. So thank you. Thank you for the lecture. Dr. V Venugopal has brilliantly and impressively presented his lecture on the life and struggle of Ayyankali. Thank you all for watching us.